if you haven't heard of Cell Dweller, I highly encourage you to look up Cell Dweller because their music is fucking amazing, and I am juiced that they are doing the soundtrack for this game. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CoinDrop podcast. This is episode 125, and joining me this episode is Zach. Zach, buddy, it's been a little bit. How you been?
I started college, and I immensely regret that decision on my time.
Yeah.
That's how it's been.
Yeah, I feel it. I just had my midterm, and I kind of bombed it, but I kind of passed another part of it, and I was already doing fine in the class. And in automotive, your midterm doesn't count for a whole lot of your grades, so I only dropped like 2%. So I'm like, fine.
Sounds like a win.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm more concerned with passing the ASE test than I am passing anything else. But you been playing anything fun in the time that we haven't talked?
So Kain came out? Kain?
Yes,
Kain?
it did.
Kain?
Yeah, Kain.
Kain came out. Amazing game. It has a fantastic and extremely challenging loop.
Yeah.
Been prepping for the Battlefield 6 Season 2, and the last DLC just came out.
Nice. I, on my part, have not, unfortunately, had a lot of time to game, though I really, really fucking want to now. We had a lot of showcases recently. We're going to talk about as much as we can here, but there's a ton of content that we're not going to be able to cover. So if you want more, check us out on patreon.com/CoindropPod, where we're going to talk about, oh gosh, all kinds of stuff over there. John Wick game, more information on the new 007 game. We're going to talk about Control. I mean, just there's a good amount of content that will be over there on this episode. So make sure you check out patreon.com/CoindropPod. $3 a month at our cheapest tier helps us do the show, helps pay to keep the lights on. And, you know, it's not too crazy. Cheaper than a cup of coffee, right? Coffee's getting crazy expensive. And I drink it black, and they still charge like $5 a cup. It's ridiculous. So
Now you should see here in California.
I don't want to know.
Firstborn child.
Yeah, you got to sign a contract with a freaking fiend just to get a cup of coffee in California, I'm sure.
I've taken out affirmed
Good.
loans on coffee.
Yeah. Affirmed loan for
Joking.
coffee.
I'm joking.
Yeah, of course. Well, funny enough, that actually gives me a really good roll into what is officially our first ad. I recently became a brand ambassador, I guess is the best way to say it, for a company called Super X. I'm actually wearing their gear right now if you're watching. They make, hands down, the best gym gear on the market. I splurged on it. This stuff is not cheap. I'm used to wearing shit that I pick up from Ross and just go to the gym in. That falls apart after, 6 or 7 hard sessions of hard washing, right, to get all the sweat out of it. This stuff holds up, and it is pricey, but I can tell you I have had this gear for 2 years now, and it has held up phenomenally. It's not cheap, but you can set up like a weekly through shop or whatever it is, do that kind of thing. So it makes it a little bit less of a immediate hit. It's kind of nice. Honestly, I can't talk the gear up enough. Even if you don't go to the gym, this stuff is just super fucking comfortable to hang out in. And it's all inspired by video games and comic book characters. I'm wearing Deadpool right now. I've got Wolverine. I just bought their Batman Beyond collection. I'm super stoked to get the Batman Beyond shit. And honestly, check them out. We've got a link in our description that will give me commission if you buy from it. Just going to be completely out front. I get 5% of the cost of whatever you guys buy, but we also have a discount code in there for you as well. It gets you 10% off. That's also on our Discord. It's saved as a pinned post on our announcements. At any point, if you guys want to buy this stuff, you can piecemeal it too. You can get a shirt here, some pants there, or you can buy a whole collection. I am kind of a fan of buying everything because it all looks great. It all feels great. It all fits great. Big fan of this stuff. Highly recommend, at the very least, checking out Super X. They're really good gear if you're looking for some new gym gear that's actually going to hold up. Currently, the Batman Beyond stuff is in pre-production, so if you order now, it won't ship until June because they actually make every single order. Goes through a whole process. They detail everything on their website. Again, check them out. Links in the description. Don't care if you buy or not. Just, this is a product I personally wear, I enjoy, and I love. and I like to talk to people about stuff I love. That's why I do this podcast. That's why Zach does this podcast. We're here to talk about video games. I'm talking to you about gym gear right now. It all fits together. That is our first ever actual sponsored plug, I guess, if you want to call it that. So we have our 3rd year anniversary coming up in March. And due to the current hectic nature of my life, dealing with school and a divorce and trying to get my house to sell by summer, we are going to have to postpone that giveaway. We will still do it. But I cannot balance editing this podcast, getting my house ready to sell, and everything else that I have to do, along with advertising our giveaway this year. I do not have the bandwidth and the capability to handle it. So once the house sells, hopefully in summer, we'll be looking at a late summer giveaway. More details to come then. I still will do this giveaway. It just will not happen on our 3-year anniversary. Apologize. Doing the best I can. Okay. I think that's all the BS out of the way. Buddy, I'm feeling like gaming's back. It was real shaky there for a while. It was real shaky on, High Guards coming and all these other shit games that just look uninspired and complete trash. But dude, we got some big content, and I can't tell you how juiced I am about this new ninja game. For years, anybody who's watched this show long enough knows that it became a joke that I'm like, where's Tenchu? Bring back Tenchu. Well, let me tell you, man, it's fucking back. We got original Tenchu developers making a new ninja game. I'm gonna butcher this name, Yakoh Shinobi Ops. Not exactly what I was hoping for, but fuck it, I'll take it, man. It is a tactical co-op stealth game that very clearly pulls its roots from Tenchu, and I am juiced. I am juiced for it. So tell me what your thoughts are on what they showed, Zach, because I'm loving every second.
I love isometrics. I just said, hey, I was playing The Last Spell, which is it's top down, but fairly somewhat close isometric, I guess. Yeah, Yakoh. I don't know.
Shinobi Ops. We're just gonna call it Shinobi Ops from here forward.
We're gonna call it Shinobi Ops.
Yep.
It's all the isometric, the art style. It's we've been over before. Favorite Diablo 2. The art style. Fairly close. The gameplay looks rock solid. It's like Metal Gear Solid meets Tenchu, and
hell yeah.
I'm about it. I'm excited to see, and I don't want to be like, oh, it's PlayStation. PlayStation doesn't really put out terrible things. Concord. But based off of what we saw earlier, it looks like it is going to be what we've wanted this whole time.
Yeah. New developer Acquire is the name of this developer. I haven't done too much digging into them, but they did say at the showcase that some of the team members have roots from the original Tenchu franchise. So we're dealing with veterans in the stealth assassin world, which just makes my skin crawl saying it, because god damn it, Ghost of Tsushima scratched that itch, but I have wanted more ever since. And I'm so glad we're finally getting like a spiritual successor to Tenchu. There's some interesting stuff here. Unfortunately, the game isn't coming until 2027. So I still have to sit here and ride out 2026 until we can get to 2027. But hey, I've got something on the horizon to set my eyes on. There's 4 unique playable shinobi, and each one will have their own ninjutsu as they advertise it. What it really comes down to gameplay wise is how they interact with the environment. Obviously, the big guy with the God, I don't know anything about Japanese weapons, big maul can smash through walls. One of them has the ability to throw flashbangs and smoke bombs and things of that nature, just to disorientate and stun. So you've got a lot of options on how you take on the environment. Another one has the ability to climb and grapple and get up scalability, kind of stuff like that. And they oddly only said 3 in the email. So curious to see what the 4th one can do. But it makes it clear that these are specific roles. You're going to be playing an archetype, and you have to work together to cover each other's weaknesses. On top of that, they specifically say that a good shinobi doesn't kill everyone in their way, that you have to use the shadows, be smart, kind of like Metal Gear, and get through to get your objective done without being seen. That's what it is to be a shinobi. So love that. And to raise the ante a little bit, You have undying pursuers that are relentless, and you must avoid them at all costs. You cannot kill them. They cannot be killed. So you got a little bit of Dead by Daylight kind of vibe to it too, where you have to really think and really use your shinobi abilities and your mind in this game to really get through and get your objective done. I gotta say, man, again, isometric camera, not exactly the successor of Tenchu I want, but I'll take it. It looks good.
Are we all ready for me to absolutely whiff every quick time event there is? Because it's gonna happen.
I mean, I guess we'll see. I'm hoping there's no quick time events, but we will see. They did not mention whether or not there was going to be crossplay, but they did say it will release on PS5 and PC. So potentially there will be crossplay there as well, which would be really cool. But I want more. I want to know more. I want to see more. I mean, the character right off the cuff, the other male character, there's 2 females, 2 males. One of them's the big burly dude who doesn't wear a shirt and has like Yakuza tattoos, looks like a tank. The other guy, straight up spiritual successor of Rikimaru from Tenchu. Like white hair, black gear, just looks like Rikimaru, and I can't get enough. It's so awesome.
I really like the lighting perception, the light and shadow perception viewpoint through obstructions.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I love the way they've done shadows and stealth, where you actually can see how much noise you're making in that area of effect, basically, that comes up when you're moving. The ability to see in that cone of light. There's some really great moments in this game that look like they're going to be very impactful. And they did say, while you can complete the game, it's kind of loose. You can beat the level alone, in a sense, like somebody can die, but you don't really beat it unless everybody gets out alive. So I'm curious if that's going to be like a game mode kind of thing where you can play hardcore, and if somebody dies, the mission's over. Kind of like Halo Lasso, all schools on, somebody dies, you're going back, right?
Yep.
Or if that's just like a, I don't know, you get extra bonuses for maybe all 4 getting out, but it seems to suggest that everyone has to get out for it to be a successful mission. Shinobi Ops looks really great. Again, isometric camera. It definitely has like a Baldur's Gate kind of vibe to it. And graphically, it's not the most beautiful game. It has a bit of graininess to it that I kind of enjoy. Like it feels not old, but it feels unique, I guess is the best way I can say it. It doesn't look like it's going for super hyper realism the way most modern games are. And it looks great, but it doesn't look like, they're not trying to be Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? They're not going crazy over the top.
Individually textured every blade of grass.
Yeah,
we just need a bush.
Yeah, just throw a fucking bush in there. It's fine. The amount of blood and gore looks great. I mean, that's classic Tenchu. I remember one of my favorite executions as Tatsumaru in, I think it was Birth of the Stealth Assassins sequel, Tenchu 2. He had an ability that if you attacked a guy at the right angle, he would just start breaking every bone in dude's body, literally just folding man's clothes while he's wearing them. And you're just seeing blood splurt and bones. It was almost Mortal Kombat level of just really good over the top death. And I hope there's some more of that in this game.
One can hope. We'll see. 2027.
Yep. Well, we might be moving forward in time, Zach, but boy, we're seeing the return of a lot of classics. And I cannot put into words how juiced I am for our next topic. Dude, when I tell you last year when they announced the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 collection remaster, that I bought it before the trailer even stopped rolling, I need you to understand the level of love. There are 2 loves in my early childhood of video games, and it is Legacy of Kain and it is Tenchu. And I paused there because I'm like, well, there's actually 3 because Legend of Zelda. But in the PlayStation world, it's Legacy of Kain and it's Tenchu. And we're getting a remaster of Defiance, which is the last Legacy of Kain game. And we'll talk about that one first because I don't want to, for anybody who didn't watch State of Play, somehow didn't know about this, I'm going to save this next bit. How much do you know about the Legacy of Kain franchise, Zach?
So, oddly enough, not that much. when you say those like your first, 3 games. I think my my first PlayStation game was probably Gex or Toomba.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right.
I got a secondhand PlayStation 1. All right.
Yeah. Gex is a good game. No tripping on Gex. It's a good game. So let me give you the quick rundown. Legacy of Kain is a series that's broken into 2 separate stories about 2 separate protagonists. It started as Legacy of Kain Blood Omen, and that was a very early PS1 game where you played as Kain when he was a human, and at the beginning of the game, you are betrayed and killed and turned into the first ever vampire of Nosgoth. That's the land in Legacy of Kain. You play through that, and the whole arc of the first Legacy of Kain is basically destroying the world. You're the bad guy. Yeah, so Legacy of Kain is you're the bad guy. You're not the hero in these games. So Legacy of Kain 1 and 2 happen, and then we got Soul Reaver. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Soul Reaver, which is Soul Reaver in 1 and 2, which got remastered. If you haven't bought them, seriously, guys, they're fucking great games. They are Tomb Raider Legend of Zelda greatness. That's the best way I can explain them. But vampires. So Soul Reaver 1 takes place centuries later after the destruction of Nosgoth. Most humans are eradicated and extinct and all this and that, whatever. You play as Raziel, who succeeds Kain and becomes the first vampire to grow wings. And Kain doesn't like that. Kain's king. So he rips your wings off and kicks you into what is it called? It's the waters of death, basically. You get kicked into a void of madness, and you basically burn and drown in these waters of fate for like another millennia. And it twists your body, and you become this like spirit of death, basically. Super badass character design. Anyways, your journey then becomes, as the Reaver of Souls, you become basically entwined on a spiritual realm as well as the physical realm. So there's a lot of moving back and forth. There's some great puzzles with that. And you're trying to find out what happened, because now all of your kin are mutated monsters. Nothing is as you left it. Things are worse. Kain is missing. And it becomes this dual story of Soul Reaver Raziel is looking for Kain, trying to find out what happened. And you actually, this is where things get a little complex. Kain has a sword called the Soul Reaver, and you end up with the Soul Reaver. So like, you're still, everybody refers to the character as Soul Reaver, but Soul Reaver is actually technically the weapon that you wield. It makes more sense when you play the game. I don't want to give anything else away, but I'm gonna have to give you a bit of a spoiler when we get to the next bit. But anyways, Legacy of Kain, right? You get Soul Reaver 1, ends on a cliffhanger that, man, if those games came out nowadays, people would riot with the way. Literally, the first game ends with a to be continued scene. This was dude. It was at a time when games could do that, and it was okay. And there was no guarantee it was gonna get a sequel. Thankfully, it did. But anyways, so part 1 ends with a cliffhanger. You play part 2. Then the last Legacy of Kain game to come out was Legacy of Kain Defiance, which is a story where you play both characters in the same game, and it's really fucking good. And that's the one we're getting. They're remastering that one now, the last game. Now, twice they tried to make a sequel, another Legacy of Kain game. One of them was supposed to come to PS3. It was called Dark Sun, and it unfortunately died. Dark Sun was supposed to come out for PS3, and that got canceled for good reason. It was a big departure as well. At that point, nobody was sure whether or not the games were going to succeed and sell. So Legacy of Kain died. Basically was gone until literally last year, where Crystal Dynamics released our remasters of Soul Reaver 1 and 2. And it sold crazy well. And I came on this podcast and said, hey, buy this game, because if we show these companies that we love these games, that we want more of these games, we might see more. Sure enough, here we go. It sold well enough. We're getting a Defiance remaster that looks phenomenal. Well, in the new game, because they're now also releasing a new game, a new Legend of Kain is coming in 2026. It's incredible. We're getting a new Tenchu next year. We've got a new Legacy of Kain this year. I'm feeling the love. The new Legacy of Kain is called Ascendance. And this game comes out on the 31st of March. It's a 2D side scroller that is pixelated and it looks like classic Castlevania. The remaster of Legacy of Kain, because I do want to touch on that. Obviously, they've upgraded the HD textures. They've added a new camera that you can use, which is a third-person over-the-shoulder camera instead of the very slightly janky original camera, which you can still use. They've repaired it. And they've included lost levels that were previously unreleased in Defiance, as well as photo mode or something like that. Yeah, you got photo mode. So
Photo mode.
Yep. But that one comes out on the 5th. Defiance comes out literally March 5th. Real soon, right around the corner. Super stoked. Buying it immediately. The new game, Legacy of Kain Ascendant, is a 2D platformer, beautifully designed, where literally the entire original cast is coming back. The voice actor, Simon Templeman, is coming back to reprise his role as Kain. Michael Bell is coming back as Raziel. Anna Gunn is coming back for Ariel. And Richard Doyle is coming back as Mobius, who are the main players from the Soul Reaver franchise. On top of that, don't know if you're familiar with this band, Zach, but one really awesome grunge band is doing the music for this game. Cell Dweller. If you haven't heard of Cell Dweller, I highly encourage you to look up Cell Dweller because their music is fucking amazing, and I am juiced that they are doing the soundtrack for this game. I can't tell you how amazing that is going to be. Cell Dweller makes crazy good metal grunge that is severely underrated.
Man, it's like, oh, I don't know if you know this band. I'm like, what do you mean if I don't know this band? It's fair. And I was like, I didn't really play Legacy of Kain, but Cell Dweller, I'm like, oh man, you just...
Yep.
A new core memory came back, and I'm like, man, what was that song?
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah.
Because it's been 20-ish years.
Yes. Yeah, they have not done music in a long time, and now I'm like, I gotta go listen. Where's my discography? I need to go get my Cell Dweller going. So the whole cast coming back to reprise the roles, phenomenal, and a great musical talent coming in to do the music, amazing, love it. There's also going to be 3 versions of this game. A standard version, which if you pre-order, comes with skins for Defiance, actually. Not skins for this game, but it has skins for the Shifter, which I'm not too familiar with it, but it's definitely a deep cut. From my understanding, whatever the Shifter was, it inspired the team to make Legacy of Kain, so it's something tied to Shifter. I didn't get a chance to look into that. I wasn't that big into it when the game, like I wasn't deep diving when I was 12, you know what I mean? So...
Didn't really have like the internet.
Not like that. No, not like that.
No.
Yeah. So you get that if you pre-order, and the game's only $24.99 for the standard price. Really affordable for a brand new Legacy of Kain game. The deluxe edition comes with the same thing. If you pre-order, you get the skins. You also get a comic book reader with 3 of the classic comics. And this is the thing I want to hit. A demo for the unreleased Legacy of Kain, The Dark Prophecy, which was one of the sequels that was supposed to come out after Defiance. I said this last year. If we vote with our wallets and we show Crystal Dynamics we want more Legacy of Kain, we want more Soul Reaver, we want more Blood Omen, I think we might get it. I want more. So you get that with the deluxe edition, and then the Heart of Darkness collection, which is the ultra digital deluxe things, comes with all that, as well as Ascendance skin pack for Defiance. Hey everyone, post-recording Karth here. I realized this got a little convoluted, and I wanted to clear some things up because I did a little bit more research and kind of understood these packs a bit better. If you pre-order it, you get the Defiance remastered Shifter skin pack for Defiance. If you get the digital deluxe version, you get the Dark Prophecy demo, the comic book reader with the 3 comics, as well as if you pre-order, you get that Shifter skin pack as well. The Heart of Darkness collection is actually coming out the same day as Legacy of Kain Ascendance and includes both games plus all the content from the deluxe version of the game. So hopefully that clears it up. Put the image up on screen for you guys to see that are watching instead of just listening, but wanted to make sure I cleared that up. Hope that helps. Kind of weird they're doing cross game promotions like that, but I don't care. I'm buying them both personally. here's what I want to touch on. This is a bit of a spoiler, and I hate to do this, but I can't move forward with this topic without talking about kind of the big twist of Soul Reaver. If you don't want to hear the spoiler for Soul Reaver 1, go ahead and jump ahead just 1 minute, and we'll get past that, and you can skip that spoiler. So, in Soul Reaver, you find out as Raziel that you were once a human who was a knight of the Seraphim. And those were basically badass warriors, groomed, trained, and existed solely for the destruction of vampires. And when you died, Kain stole your body and brought you back as a vampire. So it's kind of the big twist of the first Soul Reaver. I'm sorry I had to spoil that. I'll explain why. Legacy of Kain, Ascendant, has you playing as 3 protagonists. Kain and Raziel before he became a vampire. So you get to see his origin, which we've never seen before. We get to see him as a Seraphim. And you get to play as a new character, which is another vampire, which is new to this game. This game is going to serve as a bridge between Blood Omen 2 and Soul Reaver 1 and fill in a lot of lore that we haven't had in this franchise. And I realize I've been talking a lot about this. I can't explain how excited I am for this. New Legacy of Kain lore is just, I'm geeked, dude. I'm sorry. I'm geeked. I'll shut up.
No, you're good. And the only thing I want to add, and I don't want to bring it up for too long because we didn't plan on talking about it, but Fable and an actual really good horizontal level of Fable, which I was worried about for the last couple of years because we didn't know what Fable was going on with Fable. Was this going to turn into another Perfect Dark? And it raised the thought that, you know, they're bringing back all the systems from Fable 1, 2, and 3 that I really enjoyed. And it was, I don't want a brand new, something crazy new definition of Fable. I just want Fable done in 2020s. I just want every game from that era, you know, the notable ones. Like, I think they deserve having, you know, the ability to be made and brought into with new technology, stuff we didn't have. You know, Fable 1 was like, what, 8-10 hours long, maybe. If you could probably speed run it in a couple hours if you didn't screw around. Like back then, I was like, wow, this is like a really long game. And like nowadays, like 10 hours ain't nothing. I think Baldur's Gate, you could spend triple digits and still never beat the game. So no, I want to say, you know, I'm glad Legacy of Kain's going this way. I might not have played it, but it's nice seeing that, hey, this game has a long, you know, artistic timeline that where lots of, you know, this whole other IP and realm has existed, and we're getting new games in 2026.
It's one that, like, I thought Legacy of Kain Defiance was the end of the franchise. I didn't even know that Dark Prophet was a thing or Dark Sun was supposed to be a thing. And like when I found out that there was a PS3 game that they were working on, which was Dark Sun, I was heartbroken when I was like, we could have had more. And now having a new game, yeah, sure, it's a 2D side-scroller platformer. It's not the same thing as what Defiance and the other Soul Reaver and Legacy of Kain games are, but it's more, right? And this world is so rich with dark fantasy lore that, I mean, this is what vampires were for me as a kid. Like, you had Buffy the Vampire Slayer and you had Legacy of Kain, right? Like, those were the quintessential vampire experiences, in my opinion.
I understand, and I want to bring up, it's funny that you mention it. I went and Googled Legacy of Kain and the canceled game, and I can see the passion behind the community when there's pages and pages and pages and pages. They have like excerpts from magazines. Like, somebody has spent a lot of time on this fandom putting in all the information over this canceled game, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I can't stress enough, just the first game alone, Blood Omen, has kind of like a top-down, it's very pixelated, it's an RPG. It's actually open world, which was really unique for a PS1 era. It wasn't like one map, but you moved throughout the world. It was quote unquote open. And the story there's actually a guy on YouTube that I like to watch who does like lore deep dives and stuff like that. He does a playthrough of the first Blood Omen. His name is, I'm just gonna drop him. It's not like we're any bigger than he is. He's fucking huge. Dark Lore Dash. He does a lot of really great videos, and he does a full playthrough of Blood Omen where he narrates the story of Blood Omen. And it is so enjoyable to watch him play the game and narrate through it that really just encapsulates the experience of that game. That honestly, if you're at all interested in this franchise and the story, I would recommend you go watch that video rather than play the game itself at this point. Now, Soul Reaver, go buy them, play them. They play great on the Steam Deck. They're on every platform. This version of Legacy of Kain, Heart of Darkness Collection, and Defiance are both launching on all platforms as well. So you can get it wherever you play. Guarantee they're both going to play great on Steam Deck again, because that's where I played Soul Reaver, and they're fantastic. Seriously, great games. Highly recommend. And just, I don't know what else to say. I'm blown away. I was not expecting to open my email and see an email from Crystal Dynamics talking about more Legacy of Kain in 2026. I'm so stoked. And I requested review copies for them. Hopefully I get them. We'll see. If not, I'm definitely buying them. So seriously, check it out. Zach, that goes for you too, not just the audience. You should absolutely, sure. You should absolutely check them out. I guess we're just in a time capsule this episode, because there was a lot of new games shown at a lot of great projects. Most of them we're going to talk about on the Patreon side tonight, but sticking with the theme of classic gaming, Diablo 2, a good handful of months ago, put out a really cryptic message on Twitter, X, whatever, that said, if you think we're done, you are mistaken. That was it. They just basically came out and said, hey, we're not done with Diablo 2. We did the terror zones, we did some changes, but we're not done. Well, now I'm starting to question what the hell Blizzard is going to do at BlizzCon, because Diablo just celebrated its 30th anniversary and added a whole new character class to Diablo 2. We now have a warlock in Diablo 2, and not just Diablo 2, but also in Diablo Immortal, if you give a shit about that game. I don't personally. And the warlock is coming to Diablo 4 as well in the next expansion. So you got Paladin and Warlock coming. Dude, that sounds like a crazy good duo for Diablo 4, but we'll get there. Diablo 2 getting new content of this nature is fucking mind-blowing. There's a lot more coming beyond just this class, but I need you to understand the base game is still Diablo 2. It's still 2001 Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction. And they were able to make tweaks to the game after its launch to add terror zones to make leveling easier, because leveling in that game was a bitch after level 75 originally. So they tweaked some stuff. I never imagined. I thought maybe they could like tweak something, do something new. I did not expect a whole new class. That is a level of coding that I don't know how they pulled it off to make that work with their engine, to build it in 2001 and make it work in modern. Maybe the new expansion disables classic. I don't know how they did it, but a new fucking class in Diablo 2 is wild.
Yeah, I think it's because it's for Resurrected Remaster, right?
Yeah. But in the remaster, you can still toggle Legacy. You can go in there and you can hit the tilde and toggle back to Legacy graphics. So
yeah. Maybe not a ton of, I mean, I don't know, but like I would imagine there's maybe not as much spaghetti backend coding as there is in the 2001 version, but maybe there is, and they're like, hey, like I say this, and it's like Jagex has been coming out with RuneScape code since 1999, in 2001. Sorry, like they've been using the same code since 2001. Like it's ridiculous. We can't fix this because if we delete this line of code, the whole game crashes. So
I mean, that's what Yoshi P faced with Final Fantasy 14. Like that's why for so long they could only add new zones where you could do new things, and they couldn't really adjust the base game because it was code spaghetti. And I think recently they've been able to undo a lot of that. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely a hardship some developers face.
25 years, new class.
Yeah.
This is, the last 3 months we've just been talking about, hey man, like what's new? Like, oh, this
Yep.
MMO I've been playing for decades, like new
Hmm.
skill. Here's Diablo 2, brand new class.
Yeah. Yeah. On top of that, not just a new class, they've made drastic changes to the game as a whole, right? They've added loot filters, which people have been screaming about in Diablo 2 and Diablo, all of them for forever. There are now custom made loot filters you can put into Diablo 2 to only show the gear you want it to show. There's 3 new unique items, I believe, as well as a new rune word. They've revamped stashes so your stashes can hold more. On top of that, they've made dedicated tabs for your runes and your gems so they're stackable. No more 5 tabs of just gems and runes. Thank fucking God, I'm so tired of having no space in my stash. And for those of us who play the Chronicle, the Holy Grail search is now built into the game. So you can literally log every single unique item you find into the Chronicle, as they call it, and
Jeez.
and you get rewards for doing it. They're all cosmetic, but like I think one of the top tier rewards was like your town portal is now golden or something like that. So like you get a visible sign of like, hey, I'm a fucking badass and spent nothing but time on this game and have found everything. And it's fucking amazing. Like the level of work they've put into a game that's 25 years old. I'm speechless. I'm blown away. And I'm sitting here going, what the fuck are they going to show at BlizzCon? Are we going to get a new expansion for Diablo 2? Like a real expansion? Because what else do you have? How do you top the 30-year anniversary that you guys just did? How do you do that?
Jeez. Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm gonna have to go buy Diablo 2 now.
You don't have D2R?
On my old Blizzard account I do, but I don't have access to that old Blizzard account. So
Yeah, you gotta get D2R. You gotta get the Warlock. I'm stoked to play a Warlock. You get the ability to summon a minion as well as bind any minion that gives you buffs and them buffs if you bind them. Plus, you can kill them and like absorb a fraction of their power. And they specifically say this is what gets me. You can bind any enemy in the game. That implies once you're strong enough, you can go up and grab Diablo himself. You can grab Ball.
just all right.
I'm curious to see how the balance works, but they did say that they worked with, known high popularity streamers like Llama SC, Mr. Llama SC, who does amazing. Like he was working with them to tailor this class. So this isn't something they built in a void. This is something they built hand in hand with hardcore Diablo 2 fans.
Okay.
Needless to say, I bought it immediately. I'm juiced to play Diablo 2 again and play something that is kind of what I always wanted my Necromancer to be, which is a frontline fighter with minions, and you can't really do that with Necromancer once you get to a certain point. You really have to play the armchair or do something else. So I'm really stoked to play a Warlock, and it makes me really want to play Diablo 4 as well with the new expansion coming out because, dude, a Paladin Warlock combo sounds like just awesome. Just that team up alone, just dark side, light side, killing demons together sounds really fucking cool.
Yeah. That's a pretty notable release.
Yeah, absolutely. That's freaking huge. And for those who care, I'm a long-term user of BNet, so it didn't matter to me. D2R now is on Steam. You can buy it on Steam. You don't have to use the BNet launcher. I will probably forever use the BNet launcher because I've always used the BNet launcher, but there's a ton of reworks. 2 new stash tabs, just tons of stuff. Kanai's cube. The Herodric cube is coming to Diablo 4, which, hopefully their crafting or their gear system gets a little bit better because it sounds like they're making tweaks in Diablo 4 that might make me more interested to play. But
that was my favorite part of 3.
Yeah. There's new in-game content that they're doing with 4 with this update that really looks promising. A whole new city that you're going to in 4, which is actually the first city of man. So there's going to be like monuments to both Lilith and Inarius there. Diablo 4's got a lot of really good content coming to it that makes me go, yeah, all right, I might have to buy it and jump back in. And I don't know where I'm finding the time to do that because I have none. I have exactly none.
0.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty blown away by where we aren't even at Summer Games Show. And we've had amazing showcases. Fable's at a place where I'm fairly confident that it's going to be good. We saw some great stuff with Sony. I didn't get a chance to watch. I guess Microsoft did another showcase, or did they just do the developer direct?
They just did their developer direct, where they only showed, if I remember, it was three
It was
games?
3 or 4. Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah,
the
3 or
new
4.
Forza Horizon looks amazing too. I got to be honest.
That one does. They gave us Forge in Forza. They're like, hey, what if we just gave you a giant area of land? You can just build whatever you want. Just build whatever. Go nuts. They're like,
yep,
cool. We're gonna get Halo Infection in Forza Forge. Love to see it.
Zombie pirate sharks in Forza.
Yeah, it's happening.
Hell yeah. No, it looks great. And everything that we're seeing right now looks really awesome. Except for one game. Jumping into our quickfire tonight.
Jumping into the quickfire. Is it gonna be quick? Is it gonna be quick?
Quickish. Maybe
Quickish.
slow fire.
Slow fire.
Maybe slow ice news tonight. Highguard came out. Zach and I talked about that last time on the Patreon, about how we'd seen nothing about it and that it was coming soon. And to probably no one's surprise, the game absolutely bombed. Bombed bad. Bombed. Did it last longer? Is it dead? Is the game still up? Can you still play it?
You can still play it. And at this moment, I will say at this moment, there are 2,300 players online right now.
Okay. I mean, it's not awful. They managed to outlast the day before. So,
yeah,
they haven't taken that record. But
yep.
Once again, we are seeing what happens when developers are completely out of touch. Because there have been multiple reports that ex-developers of Highguard, because they just basically laid everybody off, blame the community for the game's poor performance.
We made this thing nobody wanted to play because there's already multiple options
that are better.
Why won't you eat the shit sandwich we made you?
But it's our fault, Zach. It's ours.
It's our fault. It's our fault.
Our expectations are too high. We're too jaded. It's our fault that their game is an uninspired piece of garbage.
To give you an idea, their amount of Twitch viewers right now is 636 viewers.
That's actually still more than I would expect, but
that is a bit more than I would expect. Yeah, I'll give you that.
But I mean, we said it enough times over on the Patreon that like this game was not going to be good. It was never going to be good. It was always going to be just a pile of junk. And what's really bad is one of the ex-devs said that we were this is a rough quote. He said something along the lines of, we were a joke from minute 1 after the VGAs. And I was like, yeah, you were. You absolutely were. 100% you were. It was nothing but jokes about how stupid your game looked. And this is what happens when you developers come up with an idea and build it in a void. You can't do that.
Yep. I don't even know what to say, honestly. It's no surprise that it didn't do well. And then the game came out free. There was no interest in it. So it's like no surprise that the entire studio effectively got laid off. Can't really keep people on staff if you can't make any money from the game that you made them make that nobody wanted. So I have a hard time feeling bad about this. I don't feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel bad that it failed either. I feel bad for the devs that they're now out of a job again, but if they're paying attention at all, the people on the floor, not the leads and, this and that, the people on the floor should have seen the writing on the wall as soon as the VGAs happened and been like, okay, time to look for a new job. That's what I would have done. it's not hard at this day and age to find what people think of your product, unless you're us and nobody watches your product to begin with.
Yep.
But if you're making a video game like that and capping the VGAs, a quick Google is going to tell you what the internet thinks of you. And if you can't take that and go, okay, time to make a change, well, you kind of shot yourself in the foot, I guess.
Yep.
So, I wish them all the luck. I hope they can land on their feet, find new jobs, but the people in charge of making the decisions to make this game should probably not find work. You should just leave the industry. Please. We don't want you here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, even if they just said something after the VGAs, maybe it would have gone better for them. If they just came out and said, "Hey, you know, we hear you guys. We know what's being said. We're coming out with this game still. Like, we've been working on this. It's completely free. Just give it a shot." But nope, just the VGAs and just straight radio silence.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, like you guys, the community didn't. It's not the community's fault. Like, you didn't communicate anything.
Yeah, you dropped a
And then
trailer
you shut
and then
down.
failed. Yep.
Yeah.
I will always say, as much as I'm not a fan of Arc Raiders, I do like the lore of the game. I'm just not. I don't think I can do the extraction games. We'll see where Arc goes. But I will always point to Arc Raiders as a prime example of how you pivot a game. Arc Raiders was initially going to release, if I'm not mistaken, as a free-to-play hero shooter. It was either a free-to-play hero shooter or it was something along those lines. It was going to be free-to-play. And they got horrible feedback. And rather than ignore it or shut down, they said, hey, hold on. We're going to pivot. And they changed the game. They changed what they did. They changed how they did it. They changed what the scope was. They changed everything about Arc Raiders other than the lore of the world. And it's one of the best extraction shooters out right now. So there is a lot to consider, though, right? Like, the fallacy of sunk costs is a thing. You need to look at something and be like, is it better to just walk away? But at the same time, if your product's gonna fail anyways and you were already going to launch a free-to-play game, what does it hurt to try and pivot and do something different? Arc is now not free-to-play. You have to pay to play. Not like subscription-based, but you have to buy the game. And they've made a ton of money. They've done really great for themselves. So had Highguard gotten the bad feedback, saw how bad it was at the VGAs and went, hold on, all right, we're going to time out. We're not going to release. We're going to postpone. We're going to revamp. We're going to turn around. We're going to come back. They probably would have had success had they done something different. But it was easier to just spend the billions of dollars to make your end night VGA award video, walk away, and then hope that you could recoup that money, which clearly they did not.
Yep. I don't think they're going to be making much with 2,000 players.
No, definitely not. Well, moving on.
Yeah.
We've got a couple other games here we want to talk about real quick. Black One.
Fire.
Yeah, this is the quick fire. Black One Blood Brothers. This is a tactical first-person single-player military shooter, which feels very Rainbow Six Vegas. Like, it feels classic Rainbow Six vibes. I dig it. Squad-based controls. Very cool. You can play a campaign, which they have set up, or build your own. So there's like a DM mode where you can make your own stories in it, I guess. I don't know too much about this, but I do know that they just did a massive overhaul. Black One Blood Brothers initially released on UE4 engine. They just upgraded to 5.7. And let me tell you, the tech upgrade that results from that in visual beauty, the streamline of systems, that's a huge technical upgrade that is only going to benefit this game. So if you like tactical shooters, I would highly recommend checking out Black One Blood Brothers on Steam. It is not currently on console. However, speaking of investors, the developers just partnered with an EU-based investment platform called GameVestor. Really unique, guys. Great job deciding on that name. And this investment could lead to things like a co-op mode being made for it, as well as potentially console versions in the future. So a nice boost of income for the developers of Black One, Blood Brother. It looks cool. It, again, gives me classic Rainbow Six vibes, and I'm all for it. So it's something that I personally will probably pick up at some point. Again, it's probably not a game I'll play anytime soon, but it's in early access. It's $18. Check it out. It looks really good.
This is a whole step up from tactical. This is choose exactly every piece of your squad's outfit, their loadout, the attachments on their guns. When you make the plan, show how each one's going to move, the stances they're going to take, which weapons they're going to use. This is straight up. I want to say it's been a while since I thought of this game, but if anyone remembers Full Spectrum Warrior, I think that was the one. It's been a long time. It was either that one, or I think that's one I think of, where you actually controlled like your squads and moved them around in like a tactical fashion. It's effectively that, a Rainbow Six mashup with like the creativeness and how much you can control of, like, I don't want to say like Tarkov, but with effectively like you have creative control over everything. Like it is a very neat tactical game.
And with the upgrade to 5.7, I mean, they're taking advantage of Nanite. You know, you've got all kinds of additional benefits technically that come from upgrading to 5.7. It has a very positive overall review with 1,100 reviews, and recent reviews, 49 of them mostly positive. So Helios Studios, also great name, Helios Studio, looks great. Highly recommend if you're a tactical shooter fan. Again, it is single player at this time, but with the investment from GameVestor, who knows? Could see a multiplayer, could see a co-op, could see all kinds of great stuff. So if you're looking for a new story, hardcore tactical FPS, could be a good one to pick up. Next up, if you're a fan of Legend of Zelda as it should be, Link's Awakening, A Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds, old school, Four Swords, you know, Sage of Song, or Sage of Times, Sage of Seasons, whatever the hell those two were. There's a new classic Zelda-like coming out called Echo Isle. Echo Isle. It is going to have a demo on Steam Next Fest soon, and it will be roughly 15 minutes of gameplay, but it is handcrafted, looks beautiful, very clearly. I mean, the art, there is no question whether or not this was inspired by early Legend of Zelda games. So if you like the classic Legend of Zelda vibe, you'll probably like Echo Isle. And then the last one I have for you guys, I don't know about you, Zach, but I'm a fan of supermassive games. Until Dawn, pretty great game. The Quarry, Dark Pictures Anthology, fantastic games. Well, their newest game, Directive 8020, is a space survival horror narrative choice-driven game, and it finally has a launch date. It comes on May 12th, and they're doing some new stuff with this game that is probably not how I will play it, but I dig it, and we'll talk about it. So one new thing that they're doing with this game that they've never done before is something they're calling turning points, which is a new feature that allows you to rewind back to key decisions to make a different choice. So if you end up making a choice that leads to a character's death you didn't want to make, wind it back, make the other choice. Kind of a cool feature, but for me and people like me, there's Survivor's Mode, which is the classic experience, no safety nets, one wrong move, permadeath, get fucked, loser. And I'm very happy to hear that you can choose which way to play the game. For those of you who don't know anything about Directive 8020, it is a narrative space game where there's, I believe, some sort of alien infection, and you play as multiple characters. I think you play mainly as Cooper. Might be 2 or 3 people you play as. I can't recall exactly, but much like any other supermassive game, you're faced with difficult choices, and you have to make those choices and choose who lives, who dies, who you trust, who you don't. But this game, they specifically say, maybe don't trust anyone. Could be kind of fun.
We really took the thing and we have a game.
Yep. We have the thing in space. So it's basically, well, shit, dude, this is just Among Us. This is the narrative Among Us. That's all this is.
This is a narrative Among Us. Except you can turn back your
Yeah.
you can turn back your decisions if you ejected the wrong crew member.
Don't be suspicious. Don't hit those vents. Don't hit those vents. Yeah, so there's going to be a deluxe edition, which gets you outfits and collectibles and soundtracks and all that such too. If you pre-order, you automatically get upgraded to that deluxe edition. But it comes out May 12th, so it's not far, which is really cool. So happy to hear that. I think that is all I've got for the free side. Zach, do you have anything else you want to touch on before we wrap up over here?
Oh, that just about does it.
There's a lot.
That does it.
I'm sorry I got
lot.
super geeky about Legacy of Kain.
Oh, it's fine.
I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan. So that is going to wrap us up over here. Like I said, over on Patreon, we are going to talk about a co-op dark fantasy game, as well as 007 First Light. We've seen more of that game. Can't wait to play it. And Zach's going to kind of school us on some Control stuff. Just a quick note here. Control Resonant will probably have some spoilers involved in it for Control. So if you haven't played Control, proceed with caution. And of course, we'll go over the upcoming games over there as well. So if you enjoyed this content, consider subscribing for $3 a month. Help us keep the lights on and grow. And, if you can't, just tell a friend. Share us. Say, hey, check these guys out. They do some fun stuff sometimes. And again, apologies that our 3rd year anniversary is postponed, but we will be doing that. You have my word. And check out Super Acts. They're great. They make good stuff. Zach, any final words?
Yeah, make sure you do your financial spreadsheets for college on time. I'm tired.
Also, do your taxes.
Do your taxes.
Have a great night.
The IRS will find you.
Have a great night, everyone.